In the PCI Security Council's guidance and procedures for remote assessments, they lay out the different remote testing methods that could be employed. And I think this is really interesting because a lot of tools out there are saying that you can use the tool only and not interact with an auditor. And I think this is a dangerous precedent or expectation to set with a client because there are some very important steps to occur within an audit that does involve the professional judgment and observation of a skillful auditor, someone who's trained and certified in understanding risk management and a control environment, who can make those judgments with you as they are looking at your controls with you. And there are lots of tests that are very suitably performed remotely. KirkpatrickPrice was the originator of the remote audit in 2005. We began providing as many control testing methods as possible remotely, and for the last 17 years, our clients have been really happy with that remote aspect and quality involved in doing things remotely. But there has always been some type of in-person observation completed because of the value and the methods that are required to observe certain controls. And so the council outlines things such as documentation review. They categorize things into asynchronous or synchronous remote testing methods. And so when you're looking at documentation review, there is a lot of asynchronous review that you do where you look at that offline. You don't have any interaction with the client at all while you're doing that. But there are other times when it's good to review documentation with the client simultaneously. That's something that certainly is many times conducive to some type of a remote session with the client. Then they talk about data review. You can do that synchronously or asynchronously. And when you are looking at data without the benefit of simultaneously walking through that with the client, sometimes you miss the context. Where did this data come from? Who has access to it? What's the purpose of it? How is it utilized in the different steps along the way? And that's when synchronous review of data can be really helpful to walk through that with the client. You can do that over remote technologies, but observing those processes and walking through them are very important. And then lastly, the council talks about the use of video. There's asynchronous video where you're reviewing something that has been recorded for you, and then there is synchronous video where you are live with the client and you are interacting with them. But the main point of this video that I'm sharing with you is this. In no case is the council saying that it's suitable to only do asynchronous review, which is what a lot of tools are promising. We're going to extract evidence and there's no need to talk to an auditor, there's no need for an auditor to visit you, there's no need to have any appointments or sessions in order to walk through any of this. And that's not what the council is saying at all. There are places for asynchronous review, certainly, but there's also a requirement in their procedures for auditors to simultaneously interact with clients as you understand how these controls are put into place and how they're meeting the requirements. If you have any confusion over this at all, or if you have any questions about how an auditor would use observation and synchronous review during your next engagement, please contact Kirkpatrick Price today.